Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Chicago White Sox franchise. And I know it's been like 2 months since I posted this series, so I got a little bit of explaining to do, don't I? And if you don't care about an explanation, just like skip ahead a minute or two, I guess. But yeah, so this is a series that I wanted to obviously play for a long time. You know, it's a franchise, you want to get at least a couple years into it ideally, but posting with consistency has always been something I've struggled with. I've never been good at it, and I really fell off recently, but I'm really excited to get back on it for pretty much one main reason, and it's the new stuff I got new stuff. So first of all, the biggest new stuff is I finally got my hands on a PS5. I'm lucky, I finally got one. But then more importantly, for YouTube itself, I finally got some actual equipment. This whole time that I've been making YouTube videos, I was just using like the built-in capture function on the PlayStations and just using like whatever headset microphone I had. So I finally got myself a Elgato and a real mic. And honestly, I've been struggling a little bit to figure it out. I've had all kinds of problems. I've actually recorded this video right here. This is my third time trying to record it, and hopefully it goes well this time because I don't want to do it again. But anyway, the whole point of that is that now that I have this new stuff and I'm learning it, and hopefully it should sound better, hopefully it should look better, and hopefully it should be easier on me when it comes to the editing process, because that was pretty much what kept me from being consistent. So hopefully now I can be more consistent. I plan on posting a lot more videos. I'm really hoping to hit the end of this game cycle hard. So be on the lookout for plenty more franchise videos. I'll be playing Battle Royale and stuff on Diamond Dynasty if you care about that. I know this being a franchise, not everybody's super interested in Diamond Dynasty mode, but I do play it a lot. So if you enjoy my videos, maybe give those a try. And if you watch my videos and you're not subscribed, then hit the subscribe button. Hopefully we can go on this journey together and you'll enjoy my content as I hope to ramp up the production here and become a lot more of a consistent poster, because I enjoy it and it's cool to see it when other people enjoy it. But with that out of the way, now we're going to get into the real meat of this episode here. And first things first, the way I wanted to do these franchise videos is I wanted to like voice over like a week or so of simulating. So that's what I'm doing right now. This gameplay is not live recorded, and the only reason I bring that up is because it was recorded like 2 months ago probably at this point. So there was a lot of stuff that I had recorded like gameplay wise that I think I wanted to talk about, and then I forgot what it was that I wanted to talk about. So hopefully we can get reacquainted with this franchise. Just a reminder for you, because it's been so long, we continued this after the March to October that I had on the channel. We won the World Series in that. So in this franchise, we're trying to get back to the point of being a World Series contender. So here we're looking at the roster, and for a long time, the White Sox identity was having a lot of prospects, but now that those prospects are up and performing, really don't have that. So I was looking through what we do have, and really the only potential bright spot in terms of prospects is this Philip Shinjo right here. He must have been drafted during the first year player draft during the March to October, because I didn't pick him, but he's too young to be from anywhere else. He's 18, he's an A potential, he's a 61 overall. He could turn into something, potentially something to trade away. I mean, I'm not looking to replace anybody anytime soon. I mean, our roster for the most part is young. They have a lot of potential, and they're already good, so there's not much need for replacing people. And the only other guy I really had my eye on at all was this Woodrow Burkett. He's a really good looking reliever. I don't know how much better he's going to get, but what he is right now is already really good. 99 velocity. He's going to pump it up there. He doesn't have a spot on our team because our bullpen is absolutely stacked, but he does have a place somewhere, whether that be on our team later or on a different team for trade bait. But other than that, there's really nothing to be too excited about in our farm system. And because of that, we had to ramp up the scouting effort. So right here, I'm hiring better scouts. kind of like mixing and matching which scouts are talented where, so that we can effectively scout everything. And really what I'm focused on most though is pitching, because like I mentioned, we really don't have any positional needs we need to fill. I mean, like everywhere is pretty much set for at least the next year or two. Like, I don't know, first base, Jose Abreu's getting old, but we have Andrew Vaughn. Everywhere else, really, nobody's going to be regressing too far anytime soon. So the scouting is pretty much pitching focused. This right here is more of just a test with Tim Anderson, because I know they auto progress, but you can also mess with it on your own. So I turned his really to only focus on fielding, because I really don't need him to get any better hitting wise. He's already got almost maxed out contact. He's not a guy we need to have a ton more power. We got plenty of power on our team. So what he does need is fielding, because at shortstop, 57 fielding is not going to get the job done. So hopefully that test goes well and his fielding gets bumped up a lot more. But we'll monitor it. We'll see what happens. And this is just a little recap here about the first game we played in the last episode. We won that one, so we got a 1-0 start on the season. And now going into the first part of the simulation, we have a critical situation immediately. Eloy has a 10-game hitting streak on the line from last season, and he's 0 for 2 with the walk so far in the 8th inning. So it put us in the game here to try and extend that hitting streak, and I struck out. Not a good swing. I haven't been playing too well with Eloy dating back to like the last 10 or so episodes of the March to October, pretty much since the playoffs started. But before that, he was like the best player on our team, so hopefully he can turn it around. But I was glad to see with those critical situations that the game was over like right after that point, because I was pretty much thinking that the only part of the critical situations I wouldn't do is the milestone ones. But seeing that you only do really that at bat and then you're done, that was fine. But we took that game 1-0. Daniel Palka with a solo home run. That's going to be something you're going to want to keep in mind, Daniel Palka with the solo home run, because he hits another solo home run in this game. Luckily, that was not the only offense we got this time, as we take the win 10-6. We sweep Cleveland in the first series of the year, and we got a good start to our season. Keuchel with a good outing, but then facing Minnesota in our second series, we dropped the first game. The offense didn't really show up in this one. Only put up 2 runs. Did get 7 hits, but the only one that mattered was another Daniel Palka solo home run. So we need our offense to be picked up here. Rodon took the loss in that one. Didn't pitch too awfully in this one. He had 6 innings pitched, only gave up 2 runs. But he is someone I'm keeping an eye on because I don't really trust him. But in this game, another guy, I don't want to say I don't trust him, but what I don't trust is the simulation aspect of the game, because Michael Kopech, I mentioned in the last one, I don't want his development hindered. So I wanted to kind of micromanage his games, which he doesn't get off to a good start there, giving up 3 runs right away. But I don't want him to be in a situation where he's giving up unnecessary runs and then maybe that leads to him not developing good. So I kind of want to take control when he's pitching for how long he goes. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm planning on doing that pretty much every outing of his. So he had the rough first inning. He got through the next 3 scoreless. And right here I'm checking to see how many at-bats they have. Donaldson is up, and he's the only one who hasn't had a second at-bat yet. So I was going to pitch to him and then take Kopech out, but he hits a home run. So maybe I left Kopech in 1 batter too long, but I was kind of doing the whole don't let him see a third at-bat type situation. So I took him out. Kopech's first outing of the year, 4 innings, 4 runs allowed. And then the game just gets out of hand when I simulate through the rest of it. So we end up dropping this one. 11-1 is going to be the final score. And our only run is a Daniel Palka solo home run. That is, like I said, that's going to be something you're going to want to keep in mind. But our offense not putting up the numbers that we would expect. I expect us to have a high-powered offense. Even with our new additions, you know, Nick Madrigal is getting the starts, and Andrew Vaughn is platooning right now with Palka out of the DH spot. But we lose another game here when we only put up 1 run on a Daniel Palka solo home run. So right now, he is our offense. I don't understand why nobody else is picking it up, but at least Daniel Palka is putting together it probably, I mean, it could be the best March of all time, because that was March 31st. But I don't know, he's at like 5 or 6 home runs at that point. We drop another game now, back against Cleveland. They pick up their first win of the year. We put up 1 run on a Daniel Palka solo home run. Jordan Montgomery gets the loss for that one. And Michael Givens is also kind of struggling to start the year, which is disappointing because he was like reliever of the year contender last year. And we check in with Palka here. Through 7 games, he's got 6 homers, 9 RBI. He's just putting up numbers. Like I said, he could have had like the best March of all time, because there's not much baseball that's usually played in March. But finally we get back on the right track here, 7-1 win. But then I see we have a negative cash flow. Here it says we have positive 11,000. But earlier when I was signing the scouts, it said we had like 850,000 in the positive in terms of cash flow a week. So I don't really understand this whole cash flow system. I never have Daniel Palka another solo home run in that victory. But with the whole like, ever since they changed it to the cash flow system, that's kind of when I didn't play anymore. And Keiko picked up the complete game in that one. Forgot to mention that. But ever since they had that system in the game for budget, that's kind of when I fell off of franchise, so I never really learned it. So I still don't know exactly how it works, but we'll learn. We'll get a little bit more familiar, hopefully. I know I show it again later. We'll talk about it a little bit more, but here we pick up another loss. This is a game that can't happen. Giving up 10 runs. Palka, another home run. That time it doesn't look like it was solo. But 5 runs is a decent day for the offense, but you can't give up 10. And that was Rodon giving up 6 in his start, and then Givens struggling again later once the game was already kind of out of reach. But Rodon, like I said, he's someone that I'm going to monitor because I don't trust him too much. He had a decent year during the March to October, but that was kind of because, well, first of all, injuries don't exist in March to October, and he's injury prone. So I don't know if he'll get injured at some point, but I don't know. I just don't have too high hopes for Rodon. We're going to micromanage Kopech again. I'm actually going a little bit more in depth for this one. I actually, instead of simulating the half innings for Kopech, I picked when to pitch and all that stuff within the quick manager. So he gets through the first inning scoreless, and then there's an error there by Tim Anderson. So that's why we're trying to work on his fielding. And then with 2 outs, he gives up 2 walks to load the bases. And then with Cesar Hernandez up, gives up a 2-run single. So I believe both of those runs weren't counted as earned because of the Tim Anderson error. I know Kopech only ends up allowing 1 earned run in this game, and I think it might have been that one right there to give Cleveland the 3-0 lead. But then Palka with his solo home run, his once per game home run. Another error by Tim Anderson, so that's 2 this game. So again, reinforcing how important his fielding development is. I really could use him to improve a lot in the field, because so far, I mean, you can see right here, it's pretty much cost us the game to this point, because I think 3 of the runs were charged as unearned, and if those didn't happen, we'd be tied. But I decide here, Kopech was done, I took him out, but we have a chance here. It's 4-1, we have the bases loaded with 2 outs and Eloy up. So I decided to come into the game, and I strike out with Eloy on a bad pitch. So maybe not the right decision by me, but I do think if I quick manage games like that in situations, if those arise, it'll be fun to hop into the game. I mean, I think I might do that again in the future, even though I potentially cost the team the game, because who knows what he would have done in simulation. But we ended up losing that one, 4-1, only 1 earned run though, charged to Kopech. Our bullpen picked it up, 4 innings in relief, no runs allowed. It's kind of a roller coaster start to the season, really. Like, some games our offense shows up, Some games it doesn't. More often than not, it doesn't. But then, like I mentioned before, the cash flow coming into effect again, because now all of a sudden we're negative $364,000 a week. That is a swing of like $1 million a week just from the beginning of the season to now, which is like, what, 1 week? So I don't know. I don't understand the cash flow system, but if we get to a point where we don't have any like bank balance left, I'm just gonna buy it with stubs, because I just don't understand. I mean, I don't want to have to do that, but if I do, then we will. But here we have a chance against Kansas City to kind of right the ship. Kansas City's not a good team. We haven't been playing too great at the beginning of the season here, so we got a chance against a bad team to turn that around, and we have to this point. We have an opportunity here as Whit Merrifield gets a single, but Giolito has a complete game shutout going against Kansas City here. We're up 9-0. So it's one of those games where the offense showed up and the pitching showed up. So that's what we need every game. But that was a weird out there to get our first out of the inning. And then Hunter Dozier flies that one to right, and Mazzara gets there and makes the play. So 1 out away from a pretty big complete game shutout here. Salvador Perez pulls it to left, and Eloy is going to be able to make that play. So a huge morale boosting complete game shutout there from Giolito. We are riding high after this one. Everything worked. We're firing on all cylinders. So what can go wrong? I mean, finally we turned it around. We're loading back in to go back and simulate some more, and then I get this message popping up. Daniel Palka, dislocated ankle, out for 6 months, which means out for the season. Unless, we make the playoffs. I don't know what his timetable is exactly. He might be able to come back for the playoffs in October. But that is just devastating. I mean, he had probably the hottest start to a season that anyone's ever had. I mean, look at this. He had 11 games played, 10 home runs. He had 10 home runs in 11 games, 10 home runs 1 week into April. And now he's out for the rest of the season. He was insane. He had a 1,500 OPS, 10 homers, 18 RBI, 18 hits. He was our best player, and he wasn't really expected to be. He was just kind of a guy that I noticed we had in our farm system who had 95 power. So I'm like, this guy's got to be brought up, use him as a DH. It was going really well, and then now it's not. But I just wanted to show real quick here all the different categories that he was leading in so far, and he was leading in terms of all-star votes for left field. But now we gotta, it's a long season. We gotta look forward, move on. I thought about bringing up Nicky Delmonico, but he's just not as good of a bat. So as Palka, I should say, because it's not like Adam Engel's a great bat. But I figured Engel probably had more of a role on the team with his better fielding and good speed. So I brought up Engel to fill in Palka's spot. And then I put Vaughn in. He's going to be our everyday DH. So silver lining, it's good for Vaughn because he had a little bit lower morale. So we don't want him being hindered with a lower morale. We don't want his development being hindered. So in that sense, it's kind of a good thing just for him that he's getting an everyday chance to start. But we pick it up here the next game after that devastating blow, winning 11-5. So it's good to see our offense still there, and Vaughn even filled in the solo home run role of Daniel Palka. So our pitching, Montgomery, he's been pretty good this year so far. We need our offense to keep showing up, and I recorded this 2 months ago, and I'm still just as upset when I see that message pop up to say Daniel Palka was out for the season. But with that being said, it is time for the live game. We are playing this one here to get ourselves back over 500. We've got probably our best pitcher of the year so far on the mound. It's going to be Dallas Keuchel versus Jacob Junis, Chicago White Sox at the Kansas City Royals, and I'm going to throw it over to my future self on the live call. And here we are, a game against the Kansas City Royals in Kansas City. We have an opportunity not only to complete a sweep, but to get back over 500 in the early point of the season. But even against a Kansas City team that's not that great, it might not be the easiest task here because Jacob Junis has had a pretty hot start to the season. He's probably their best pitcher in the first 2 starts. He's had 2 really solid starts, only allowing a couple runs here and there. So we got to face him today, but we have someone on our own side in Dallas Keuchel who's having a really similar season. So this should be a pretty good game, and I am excited to play with this Chicago White Sox team once again because it's been a little while for me. Wind's blowing out to center. Okay, that could be good. Could be good for some of our power hitters. Tim Anderson, that one can't sneak through. 3-2 count. That pitch was right on the edge of the zone. That is a really good 3-2 pitch. Can't not swing at it because it probably would be called. So there's our starting lineup. Nobody really with too hot of a start to the season after Daniel Palka went down hurt. It looks like our highest average is Tim Anderson out of the leadoff spot. I swung first pitch with Moncada, and that was a good swing. The wind blowing out to center carries it. That was actually a lot deeper of a home run. All right, that's a good start here to get us on track. Tried to sneak a high fastball past him. Moncada blasted it 441 to center. I didn't realize it was that far. I didn't even see. Oh, we draw a walk there. 3-2. I went bold and I took that pitch and fortunately got the call there. I haven't been swinging too great with Eloy whenever I've used him on this recently. Whoa, Abreu's had a lot of at-bats against Jacob Junis. I didn't realize that Junis had been around so long. Oh, and I can't put a good swing on the fastball, so we only are gonna put up the 1 run in the first, but we work his pitch count pretty good. And there's our guy Dallas Keuchel. He's having a pretty good season, really similar to the start of the season that Jacob Junis seemed to have. But Keuchel's got a 2-0 record, looking to make that 3-0. He's coming off, I think his last start was the complete game. Well, it wasn't a shutout. I think he gave up 1 run, but it was a complete game. Weak grounder. That's not super easy with Mondesi running, and he is going to beat it out. Oh, that's a great start to the game. You got to be watching out for the steal, too. And he's going first pitch. I slide stepped. I don't think we're going to get him. Grandal doesn't have the strongest arm, even with a perfect throw. Oh, we got to get there, Luis. Oh, good catch. But he's going to tag. Wow, I really didn't think he was going to tag, so I didn't come up firing. So looking at their lineup, they do have a couple guys with pretty decent averages. Alex Gordon, who he just got out, and then Witt coming up next. Oh, and the weak grounder to third. I'm not even going to try it with Mondesi's speed. Man, that run is just... shouldn't exist. that run only happened because of Mondesi's speed. I mean, really, it was a dribbler that he got on first, and he stole second, tagged up to third on a shallow fly ball, and then got home that way with the weak grounder. And Soler rocketing that one to first is going to end the inning. I'll take my top half of the first over their bottom half, but either way, it's tied 1-1. And we get another leadoff walk. Or, yeah, no, Tim Anderson didn't lead off with a walk. Oh, and Luis Robert, first pitch, you got us. So I think this is my first regular season at bat with Andrew Vaughn here. Vaughn rips that one to left. That's a perfect swing, and it scoots over the wall. It didn't look like that left by much, but it is saying 405 feet, so that's a pretty solid homer. I think that's now 2 games in a row with a homer from Vaughn. So he's homered. What would that would be both games so far that he's replaced Daniel Palka. So maybe it's just the DH position that's just insane for us this year. Madrigal with a liner. It's not going to get down. He hit it right to the left fielder. If they lead off with another, please make this play. He was safe. Oh, he didn't look safe to me, but it should show a replay here. Oh man, that is actually really close. I'm going to challenge it. Why not? I really don't want another inning to lead off with a cheap little dribbler like that. Man, I actually can't tell by this replay. Oh, and they keep the call. They call him safe. Ah. Well, I think that was worth the challenge. Hopefully that's the thing they kind of expand on next year, is they have more different situations be able to be challenged, and Salvador Perez is not fast. So I guess that challenge wasn't worth it in the end, because we end up getting that out anyway on the double play. So I just took a first pitch strike with Tim Anderson, but it was definitely slightly out of the zone. And I didn't realize that once I moved over to the PS5 now, because that's what I'm playing this on, I had to reset all my settings, and I left umpire accuracy on personalized. But honestly, I think I'm going to leave it that way now that we're in a franchise mode and not March to October, where March to October, there's a little bit more leverage going on and you kind of want everything to be a little bit more perfect. But in a franchise, I think it's a little bit more realistic to have a personalized zone. Oh, and Tim Anderson again can't lead off an inning with a base hit. Oh, Abreu knocks it down. Make the play. Oh, we didn't get an animation or whatever has to trigger there. 3 innings in a row that there's been a leadoff single when it debatably shouldn't have been. All right, we're gonna get him with this changeup. He's gonna chase. He didn't even need to chase, but that ended up being a good pitch, not where I wanted it to be. I'm gonna go up and in. Keuchel doesn't throw too hard, but we get him. All right, 2 strikeouts in a row. I think that's actually 3 pitch strikeouts in a row. And the line out, the weak liner, Moncada makes the play. Keuchel working really good out of the stretch so far today. So that first pitch there of this inning is the 51st for Jacob Junis. So we had him throw 50 in the first 3 innings. We can keep that pitch count climbing. That was a good pitch, but if we can keep that climbing, he might leave the game pretty quick. Ooh, that's a really good pitch. That's gonna... Man! Well, we don't push across a run that inning, but at least we're still keeping that pitch count climbing. Grounder to third, Moncada makes the play, and Keuchel, man, he is just cruising. He's like the exact opposite of Jacob Junis so far, only 28 pitches. All right, let's see if our high and away fastball is effective. It is! Okay, we got him swinging. This might be 2. We do get it. All right, so we turn 2 in the inning anyway. Keep the Royals from scoring any more runs. We need some more offense of our own, though. Oh, no, we don't want Mondesi's wheels on the bases. Don't you remember what happened last time? Oh, and they're going to sack bunt him over. I'm not even going to try. We might have gotten him. I don't know. But I'm not going to allow 2 base runners when we can get an out. And a chopper to third. All right, Keuchel working out of it. He is really, man, he's pitching a good game, but he's giving himself trouble every inning. All right, so Junis day is over. They bring in, it looks like a lefty. Oh, and they give the pitcher the call. Hometown umps right there. That was a little outside. But you know what? I made the decision. I made the decision to have personalized umps, and it's going to come back to bite right there. I mean, that's close enough. I can't really complain about that. Madrigal, though, turns on that one. That's going to get down. It's going to be a double for him. All right. Hey, that's a good at-bat out of him right there. 2 outs, hitting the double, giving our top of the order a chance to drive in a run this inning still. And they're walking Tim Anderson. Interesting choice. He's been ice cold today. And they're bringing up someone who's been red hot. I mean, Moncada is less effective against lefties. And that was a pretty good pitch to take a hack at. And he just can't put a great swing on it. So again, we threaten with a couple base runners, but can't end up doing anything with it. 47 pitches. if we could get a little bit more offense, he would easily be going the distance in this one. But I mean, 1 run and we got a tie game, so I kind of have to keep him on a little bit of a shorter leash if he gets into a jam. And this play should be made. Tim Anderson, this is like the ideal Dallas Keuchel start right here. Low pitch count, inducing a lot of weak contact. Abreu's hit might get down. Oh, it is. It's getting in the gap. That's actually going to score a run. 59 speed. We're sending Eloy. It's not even going to be close. And Jose Abreu breaking this game a little further open here. Luis Robert, that's got to carry. Oh, Alex Gordon misplaying it. What? That was the last thing I expected. It did look like he kind of took a little bit of a weird route to the ball. He was jogging. They're giving Robert the hit apparently. They're calling it a triple, but that looked more like a misplay out there by Alex Gordon. Yeah, it just went right past his glove. Oh, and then I throw it away by swinging at a slider like that. Mondesi, are we going to get him doubled up? We do. Nice turn by Moncada at second, or Moncada at third, Madrigal at second. And we double up one of the faster players in the league. And Eloy is going to walk on a 3-2 count. 2 walks this inning, 2 walks on the day for Eloy. And they do give me the call. That was a close one. But we're going to get the bases loaded on walks. Oh, but that ball is hit pretty well. It's going to get over his head and left. That's not going to clear the bases, but it is going to drive 2 more in. Jose Abreu, 2 doubles on the day. Only 61 pitches. Starting the 9th inning for Dallas Keuchel. And another leadoff base hit. How else would this inning start? And the strikeout of Witt here. They're making Keuchel throw some pitches in this inning here. He's probably going to end up throwing the most pitches in any inning in this inning. Backdoor cutter gets a grounder. Can we turn this? We do. 75 pitch complete game for Dallas Keuchel. I mean, that was really a Dallas Keuchel game right there. He didn't have a high strikeout total. Just pounded the strike zone all day. Got a lot of weak contact. We had a lot of double plays turned. A lot of grounders. He's really having a good start to the season. He's probably our best pitcher right now. And that's exactly what he did during the March to October also. He kind of fell off after the All-Star break, but he started out strong. So we had a lot of base runners on the day, 10 hits as well as 7 walks, so 17 total base runners. We couldn't really put up the runs against Jacob Junis early on, but once we got to the bullpen late, we put up some more insurance runs. Finished the game 6-1. Moncada had a good early part of the game. Abreu came alive near the end, but home runs out of Moncada and Vaughn early, and then in the last 2 innings, our offense came alive again. That was a good game and a good completion of the sweep. We needed that. We were struggling in the early part of the season here, but we get back over 500, back on the winning ways. Dallas Keuchel is absolutely dominant. And that is going to wrap up this episode of the Chicago White Sox franchise. I hope we're back for good now. I hope I'm going to keep posting this consistently because this is a fun series. I really want to see if we can repeat with this team. So make sure if you did enjoy this video, hit the like button for me and subscribe so you don't miss any future White Sox not March to October, franchise videos. But with that said, that's all I've got for you guys in this one. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.